Hello everyone, hope you all are fine. Water harvesting and conservation, Module 5. Before understanding water harvesting and conservation, we should know what is drought. The National Weather Service defines a drought as a period of abnormally dry weather that persists long enough to produce a serious hydrological imbalance. For example, crop damage, water supply shortage, deforestation, desert land formations, etc. The fact of the drought depends upon the degree of moisture deficiency, the duration, and the size that affected area. There are four different ways that drought can be defined. First one, it is meteorological, which means meteorological problem like departure or delay of precipitation from normal due to climatic differences. That comes under meteorological problem. Then agriculture, it refers to a situation when the amount of moisture in the soil no longer to meets the needs of a particular crop. Then next it is a hydrological problem. Hydrological occurs when the surface and subsurface water supplies are below normal. Then socio-economic refers to the situation that occurs when physical water shortage begins to be affected the people. So this is what drought. When you are looking into a drought map of India, you know, especially in the western side of India, the most of the part there is a water scarcity problem. Severely in the non-rich island it is. If you are Rajasthan, actually it is a desert land due to the Aravalli mountains, and half of the India it is drained by Ganga river, and eastern side you can see the Brahmaputra river, and western side there are Indus rivers. But when you are looking into peninsular area, there are a number of perennial rivers, but still there is a water scarcity problem, especially Maharashtra, Orissa, and Andhra, and North Karnataka, and all. So, because of lack of management, actually those problems it is emerging. You know, 330 million people across India are affected by this drought. Okay, so such area, if you are implementing water harvesting or conservation methods or systems, it is very useful. Now, why should we have conserve water? There are without fresh water, you will die in just a few days. Or water equals to life. It is a resource that is a benefit to everyone. It is a resource that is a benefit to everyone, and to save money, a lower consumption means a lower water bills. To keep rates low, maximizing current water supplies helps defer the needs to develop a new, more expensive sources of water. Protecting our natural ecosystems from further damage is critical, especially for the survival of some endangered species. Some freshwater species are not existed. We can save such ecosystems. Okay, to prepare for a drought, many areas of country have experienced drought condition in the past few years. Water conservation help prepare for these worst of times. We'll go to what is water harvesting exactly. It means the capturing rain where it falls, or capture the runoff in your own village or town, and taking measures to keep that water clean by not allowing polluting activities to take place in the catchment. Therefore, water harvesting can be undertaken through a variety of ways. First one, it is capturing the runoff from the rooftops, capturing the runoff from local catchment, capturing the seasonal floodwaters from local streams, and conserving the water through a watershed management. So these techniques can be served as following purpose. One, it is providing drinking water, providing irrigation water, increasing groundwater recharge, reducing stormwater discharge, urban floods, and overloading of sewage treatment plants. We will come to water conservation. water conservation includes all the policies, strategies, and activities to sustainably manage the natural resources of fresh water, to protect the hydrosphere, and to meet the current and future human demand. Uh, the principle of water harvesting conservation in deciding which techniques to be used to make more efficient use of the available water, it is important to consider how crops receive or lose water. Crops receive water through rainfall, of course, irrigation, and stored soil water. They lose it through runoff, evaporation, and drainage. Come to how can water harvesting help when it is dry environment, especially in desert lands. Okay, so if you are implementing water harvesting or conservation method, it is well suitable. And in rainfed areas, due to the topographic conditions, some hill areas, on the leeward side there is a less rainfall. One example I said, Rajasthan Thar desert, it is formed by the effect of Aravalli mountain, and like that in Western Ghats many places are there due to the striking of the moisture wind by the mountainous. The opposite side there is a less rainfall. Okay, so there we can implement such kind of systems. In areas where water supply for domestic and animal production is not sufficient, in arid land suffering from desertification, we can implement water harvesting structures. So this is what Indira Gandhi Canal in Rajasthan. No, Indira Gandhi Canal is one of the biggest canal project in India. It starts from Harike Barrage, a few kilometers below the confluence of the Satluj and Beas rivers in Punjab state. It runs through southwest in Punjab and Haryana, but mainly in Rajasthan. The total length of that canal, it is 650 kilometers. And it constructed started in 1958, and in 1984 it is renamed as Indira Gandhi Canal. Actually, it is a water harvesting structure. It is implemented in desert land. It is very useful. Okay, so this is the component of water harvesting system. Is first one, it is catchment area, where the water it is receiving. Okay, so that area, maybe it is very small or it is very large. Okay, the part of the land that contributes some or all its share of rainwater to a target area outside its boundaries. The catchment area can be small as few square meters or as large as several square meters kilometers. It can be agricultural land, or it is a rocky layer, a rocky land, or marginal land, or even a rooftops, small rooftops, or it is paved road. Okay, so all these we are saying it is a catchment. So look at this, the basics of drainage system. If you are saying it is a river basins. River basins means it is including all the rills, gullies, streams, then major streams and minor river system, major river system. Then it is joining to ocean. All the those system you are saying drainage basins, the source of water by the rain. Okay, so this is what catchment area. Storage facility, the place where the runoff water is held from the time it is collected until it is used. Storage can be surface reservoir, subsurface reservoir, such as cisterns, you can say a tank, in the soil profile or soil moisture, and in the groundwater aquifers. After collecting the water from the catchment, we have to storing, whether it is tanks or subsurface or reservoirs, or maybe it is groundwater aquifers. Next, it is a target area, one more component, where the harvested water is used in agriculture production. The target is the plant or the animal or whale in the domestic use. It is the human being or the enterprise and its needs. And these are the three components of water harvesting and conserving. One, it is a catchment area, storage facility, and last one it is target area. And this is what an ancient concept of conserving system. It is a on the period of great bath of Mohenjo-daro. It is a small pond. It is a harvesting structures. And we'll come to water harvesting methods. What are the water harvesting methods? We know micro catchment and macro catchments, or you can say flood water methods. In that, again, micro catchment itself, there are on-farm system, rooftop systems. Okay, then here it is wadi bed systems and off-wadi systems, micro catchments. We'll come to micro catchment. What it is? Micro catchment system are those in which surface runoff is collected from a small catchment area with mainly sheet flow in the surface flow, sheet flow over a short distance. The size of the catchment ranges from few square meter to around 1000 meter square. Very short area, very small area we will be implementing structures. And this is what I said, the small rooftops, that is what catchment. Then you can see the tank, that is for storage facility. Then it is target area, maybe for it is domestic users or agriculture, okay, or recharging. This has here also you can see the hilltops, those are it is catchment area. Then here you can see the storage if it is reservoir. Then it is target area. This is in the micro catchment we have on farm system on the farm. Okay, so it is a contour ridge. These are bunds or ridges constructed along with the contour line, usually spaced between 5 to 20 meter apart, constructing a contour bunch in the topography. Actually it is reducing the surface flow of water. Contour farming refers to field activities such as plugging and furrowing that are carried out along with contours. They conserve the water by reducing the surface runoff and encouraging the infiltration of water into the crop area. This is plugging. You can see the bench terraces similar to contour bending, but here it is a table like platforms. Here also it is reducing the surface flow of water, and it is increasing the infiltration from the crops. Vegetation and stones are stabilized in the terraces. And this is what contour furrows in between the trenches, making a small trench, and it is a little bit depth, and there it is storing the water, and it is also good for water infiltration. Semicircular and trapezoidal bunds. These are usually earthen bunds in the shape of a semicircular, a crescent, or a trapezoidal facing directly upslope. The distance between the two ends of each bund varies between 1 and 8 meter, and the bunds are 30 to 50 centimeter height. Trapezoidal or semicircular bunds you are constructing in a level land. This is what I'm said. Upside crescent shape, the half moon you are seeing. It is reducing the flow of surface flow of water. And small pits. The pits are 0.3 to 2 meter in diameter, and this consists of digging holes to a depth of 5 to 15 centimeter, and manure and different kinds of grass are mixed with some of the soil and put into the pit. The small pit you will be constructing, depth 5 to 15. Actually such kind of conserving method you can use for rainfed areas. Okay, small pit, seasonally getting less rainfall receiving places, we can implement such kind of practices, small pits. And another one is large pit, and this kind of pit, recharging pit, we can implement in borehole. Recharging pit allows the rainwater into replenish the groundwater by recharging the underground aquifers. Actually it is a set in the bottom. You are filling with the granite, or you can say boulders, then go for one layer, the 4 to 5 feet fill with the 40 to 60 mm size of granite, then 2 to 3 feet fill with the 15 to 20 mm size of granite millimeter, and 2 to 3 inches fill with coarse sand, then 9 to 10 inches free space. Okay, there it is water is storing, then it is slowly it is infiltrate. Okay, actually it is set of you can say filters. Initially they filling I said boulders, pebbles, cobbles, then sand, silt. Okay, then that is a layer. Okay, so this is, so those are it is practicing in in a borehole point, then borehole surrounding that you are making the pit and then they're filling the earth materials. So this is. Come to small runoff basins, rectangular shaped structures surrounded by low earth bunds. They are oriented to have the maximum land slope parallel to the long diagonal so that a runoff flows to the lowest corner where the plant is placed. Make a rectangular panel. One side they will be planting a plant, and all the water, making a slope, all the water it is storing in that corner, and it is infiltrate and it is recharging. That is what a small runoff basins. Then inter-row systems. Inter-row system is also called as row-date catchment, may be the best technique to apply on the flatlands. Okay, so the bunch with the height ranging from 40 to 100 centimeter are built at the distance of 2 to 10 meter. Bund, you are planting the small crops, and the surface run of water it is reducing, then it is infiltrate the water. Come to micro catchments. Macro catchments and flood water harvesting system are characterized by having a runoff water collected from a relatively large area. The catchment is a natural rangeland, the steppe or a mountainous area. So we are practicing in a mountainous area, large area, macro catchments. Okay, in that small farm reservoir, the farmers who have a wadi passing through their land, in the land they passing a small streams or passage water. If suitable location exists, they build a small dam to the store some or all of the runoff water flowing down the wadi. Wadi it is nothing but a mountainous region. Okay, so there you can see the surface flow. No, those water it is collecting with the small pond. Okay, small pond. So that is what small farm reservoir. Then wadi bed cultivation. This technique is very common in wadi beds. A gentle slopes. As a result of the slow water velocity, eroded sediments usually settle in the wadi bed and create a good agricultural land. If you are constructing a barriers across the streams, uh, excess of water it is moving further. It contains more suspended particles, or maybe it is rich of fertile soil, and it is settled down bottom of that barrier, and those soil it is most fertile soil, and there you can go for cultivations. That's what saying. Wadi khas walls usually no higher than 1 meter are preferably made of permeable stone and maybe reinforced with the gabions. Okay, so there you are planting crops. That is wadi bed cultivation. Next one it is jesser. Jesser it is an Arabic term describing the widespread indigenous wall structures built across the relatively steep wadis. Where the water comes to, there you are constructing a small structures build. Those structure it is constructing using boulders, stones and all, reducing the flow of water. Okay, so that is what jesser it is practicing in the hill, okay, steep wadis. Then next it is a water spreading method system. Macro catchment, in that water spreading systems. In this techniques also called flood water diversion, a part of wadi flow is forced to leave its natural course and is then conveyed into nearby areas and applied to growing crops. Water spreading requires a relatively uniform land, and soil should be kept with sufficient water holding capacity. Excess of water, or I can say flood water, it is collecting by a large level land, and then spreading those water, and they will be planting crops. Okay, so that is what spreading, water spreading systems. The large bunds, and this system it is consist of large semicircular topsoil or open V-shaped earthen bunds with a length of about 10 to 100 meter and height it is 1 to 1 meter, constructing a bunch across the small streams. Okay, so this is already practicing uh, large bunch. Now we'll come to tanks. Tanks are usually earthen reservoir dug in the ground in gently sloping areas that receive a runoff water either by the diversion from wadis or from a large catchment area. They are known as Roman ponds in parts of North America where they are usually built with a stone walls. Okay, so this is what tanks. And next one, it is cisterns. Cisterns are indigenous subsurface reservoir with a capacity of ranging from 10 to 500 meter cube. They store the water for human and animal consumption. And cistern, it is practicing in desert lands. The source of water by the precipitation, and it is collecting in a small pot. Okay, those are, it is useful for the livestock animals in the deserts. And runoff water is collected from the adjacent catchment, and water typically lifted by the bucket or a rope. Okay, so this is what cisterns. Okay, it is practicing in the deserts. The capacity is 45,000 liters. Diameter of that cistern, it is 5 meter. Catchment area, it is 150 meter square. Okay, so this is. Then hillside runoff system. This is practicing in hillside. On the side of the hill, you are making a small trenches, or you can say a small furrow trencher. Okay, then there it is collecting the water from that hills. Okay, runoff water, it is directly by small channel and flat fields at the foot of the slope. So that is what hillside runoff system. So these are the methods of water harvesting and conservation systems. Okay, thank you.